Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, there was a slight echo. Fancy. Thank you so much for being here first. And everybody else, thank you so much for being here. Let me grab the slides and then, of course, we can get going. And as usual, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Okay. Okay. All right. So, hello to Antoinette Kennedy, Jeannie Rock Bailey, Deborah Anderson, Fancy, Mary H., Lydia Washington, Carol Lund, Sharon Chung. Wow, that rhymed. Bunny Rose, Jim. Let's see, who else? And some more people. Okay. Some more. There we go. Meghan frolicking in her stolen frock, a dress that somehow vanished under her care. So they say. Remember I said earlier, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a very bumpy week. Remember I said that? This is exactly what I was talking about. I didn't want to start talking about it until there was some type of resolution. And there has been. There has been. Now, if it was up to me, I don't think they should stop resolving this thing until they get to the lawyer's office. Okay? I think that somebody needs to take this one in the pocket or the pocketbook because this is outrageous. Inexcusable. I did not like it. I chose not to say anything about it because I did not want to worry people about it just yet until something was worked out. So I don't know if we're there yet as far as working something out, but we'll talk about it. Okay. As ever, don't forget, you all, that there is a coupon, a code. Let me see. You know what? I did not put it on the slide this time, but let me see if I can find it for you from yesterday. There you go. Early access to 20% off. Well, now everybody knows about it. If you put in the code gratitude, you can get 20% off of everything across the board, everything available on As Ever. It could be yours at 20% off. So do take advantage of it. How much are those candles? Are they $46 or $64? 46, right? Look, you know what? I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm not going to start quoting prices. But whatever it is, you can get 20% off of that already low price. That's right. And if you buy today, you can still get 20% off of that already reasonable price. Okay? All right. Leg says no access, so they lie, deflect, distract from British royal family. That's about the size of it. It really is. And it seems as though there is a concerted effort to derail the success of this Christmas shopping season for as ever, right? And of course, for who knows whether or not it may be the last with love, Meghan, they want to derail this thing because it has all the makings of success. And they just don't want to give Meghan the benefit. They don't want Meghan to be a household word unless she's a villain. Unless they can cast her as a villain and frame her as cruel and malicious, then they just cannot take the idea that Meghan is incredibly successful. Thank you very much, Lex, for the super chat. Also, you all, please don't forget to hit the like button. I know I rarely ever mention it most days because it's implied, but please hit the like button. These shorts that are on this platform, I don't know if you noticed, but if you look across the board, everybody's views are down, 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 which makes me appreciate that much more everyone who is here, here, here. But in the meantime, I don't know what the algorithm is doing, but it does not seem to be in my favor. So please hit the like button. That is the best way to push Royal Sussex out to the rest of the world. So if you find yourself hate watching and you wonder, how in the world am I suffering through this obnoxious individual? Don't you want other people to suffer too? The best way to ensure that is to hit the like button or hit the dislike button, right? Thumbs down. That way more people will have to suffer through. Okay? Do it. Let's see. What about Andrew's accountability? What about the cost of the monarchy? What about those missing jewels? What about the wigs? What about William's alleged drinking? All of those things, Legs, and then some. There is so many things that we could be talking about other than a dress. A dress of all things. Why would they expect anyone to believe that? But sadly, there are some haters out there who will gladly take that and run with it. And I have been doing a deep dive into an entertainer that I didn't know much about, Miss Pearl Bailey. And back in the 1980s, she did an interview and she said that when you go through the supermarket at the checkout, there's these newspapers or magazines, speaking about the tabloids, of course. And she said there's these awful headlines about people. Nobody ever reads the story, but they read the headlines. And those headlines are like billboards. Now, Pearl Bailey did not live long enough to see where that type of journalism has gone. But it just amazed me that I'm looking at this interview from the 1980s. And at that time, she was speaking about something that plagues us today. And that is this machine behind the headlines, the tabloids, that do nothing but create more apathy and sarcasm and just plain disgust amongst the population. It makes us very pessimistic. And whether or not you think you are affected by it, trust me, you are. You are. We all are affected by this. This actually affects everyone across the board. So when you have a good day and suddenly you feel your disposition has soured, it's because of this type of journalism. Thank you, Lex. So, with love, Meghan, I'm on the wrong. There we go. I ought to be back over here. Also, Remember, there are those wooden boxes, those highly collectible wooden boxes. I do believe there's the single box and then there's the triple box. So if you're buying 3 wines or just one, they have those beautiful collectible boxes ready for you this holiday season. And if anyone from As Ever is listening, do remember how desperately I want those boxes. I already have enough wine. I don't need wine. I want boxes. And there's the business address where you can send said boxes. Okay? Take a screenshot. I got work to do. Okay? Okay. So, so Meghan is in the spirit, decorating her tree, working on recipes for the as ever people like us, right? Working on recipes for her customers, for her followers and fans, and also for those creative types that may have just discovered As Ever or With Love, and they're just like, wow, I want to try to make that. So we're going to have so many things available to us for just about any occasion you could think of. We're only just beginning. But somehow they tried to derail this. About this dress. About this dress. And actually, I believe they are implying that that may include another dress. As though Meghan is some type of kleptomaniac. Or that Meghan is like some kind of common thief. This is why I didn't want to talk about it. This is why I didn't want to talk about it. I just did not want to give it any oxygen if possible. But of course, at this point, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. An attempt to use a trope against the Black woman. They all steal, don't they? They don't just work and pay into the system like most people. No, they can't help it. That is what they're trying to create, is this framing of the accounts as, well, Meghan, yes, she's very accomplished. She's married into the British royal family, but yet somehow she just could not resist it. It's in her DNA. So when I saw the somewhere I saw this statement had been made by one of the Sussex's spokespeople, I decided the best place to go is to People. Even though People can be shady AF, it tends to be one of the places the Sussexes go when they have something formal to announce, especially when it's pushing back in this way. So let's see. Meghan Sussex, damn it, spokesperson reacts to claims she took a $1,700 dress from photo shoot. A spokesperson from the Duchess of Sussex, that's better, is pushing back on a report that she took a designer dress from a 2022 photo shoot. Now, the person who started this, or who I suspect started this, I'm going to show you that person in a minute. So picture it. On November 19th, Netflix debuted the first trailer for With Love, Meghan holiday celebration, the special airing on December 3rd. So Meghan says, I love the holiday season. It's about finding time to connect with the people we love, embracing traditions, and making new ones. The footage shows the Duchess of Sussex decorating, crafting, cooking, and even sharing a quick kiss with Prince Harry. Also joining Meghan for the holiday special are tennis champion Naomi Osaka. Ooh, I hope Meghan didn't go in her purse. Top Chef judge Tom, because what is that? Colicchio? He, does he have his watch? Hospitality expert Will Gadara, philanthropist. Oh, he won't even know if he's missing something. He's rich. Close friend Kelly McGee Zafin and her longtime friend and author, producer Lindsay Roth. They probably take stuff from each other. Anyway, um, that's how it started, right? Well, wait, why does this cut off like this? Oh, Lord. Why does this cut off like this? Hold on. Let me open this up all the way. Oh, okay. There's the rest of it. All right. So, according to a source familiar with the industry practices, it's standard for talent to retain select items from photo shoots, sometimes for security reasons, including to prevent potential resale or unauthorized auction. Clothing worn by members of the royal family and other public figures has been targeted for sale in the past, making the practice both common and precautionary. So, a spokesperson for the um, let me see. Oh, you know what? Somehow I skipped all the way here. See, it closed and now I got it open again. So Meghan's spokesperson is speaking out against reports that she took the address from a 2022 photo shoot without permission. The Duchess of Sussex appears in a promotional material for the holiday episode of her Netflix series With Love, Meghan, wearing a one-shoulder green gown as she lights candles on a festive table. She previously wore the same $1,695 Galvin Ushua dress for the 2022 variety photo shoot, prompting reports that she had kept the gown without approval. A spokesperson for the Duchess tells people the insinuation that the items were taken without full knowledge and agreement of the on-set stylist or their representative teams is not only categorically false, but also highly defamatory. Any items kept were done so in total transparency and in accordance with contractual agreements. Contractual agreements. And again, that is very common in the industry. According to a source familiar with the industry practices, it's standard for talent to retain select items from photo shoots, sometimes for security reasons, including to prevent potential resale or unauthorized auction. Clothing worn by members of the royal family and other public figures has been targeted for resale in the past, making the practice both common and precautionary. During her time as a working royal, Meghan, like all members of the British royal family, was not permitted to accept clothing for free. In the months leading up to the 2018 wedding, she paid for her wardrobe herself and afterwards received a clothing budget for official engagements that was covered by Prince Charles. That is debatable. I'm not sure that that's accurate. The standard arrangement for working royals at the time. During her appearance on an April episode of the Jamie Kern Lima show, Meghan discussed the impact of her clothing choices that can have, sharing that she made an effort to wear smaller brands with messages that were close to her heart. She said it felt like really, it felt really great when specifically it can help uplift brands that have a great ethos and female founders. Um, okay, so this ain't got nothing else to do with that dress, so I'm done with that. Decorating, crafting, cooking. Yep. Okay, we're good. So, standard practice in the industry. So, Meghan has gone from being just a, as they say, a working member of the royal family, a term that had never been used before, but everything always changed when it involves black people. They move the goalposts. So now she's considered a non working royal, even though I'm sure she works much harder than most of the people in that family, except for maybe Harry. I'm sure she works much harder than most people in that family. That being said, how did we get here? How did we get here? How did this happen? Let's see. Meghan paid for her wedding dress. I want it in the US. Thank you, Lex. What Lex is speaking of is that Meghan's dress is over in the UK. It has been on display at Kensington Palace, of all places. And I don't know if it belongs to, the royal collection or something like that. We don't know. But Meghan paid for it herself. Okay. So I think her dress should be over here. Her dress should be a part of the Royal Sussex collection. I agree with that. I agree. Okay, so take a look here. Okay, I'm gonna have to make that bigger because that show can't see that. Here's a little reaction from some of the squatties. I'm glad Meghan team went on record to say this, but in my opinion, legal letters should have been sent demanding a retraction and an apology. When people write defamatory things and only get their hands slapped, it doesn't discourage them from doing it again. That's from I Am Sage. The Sussex Soldier says the 24/7 character assassination of Meghan by the British media is nonstop. Meghan's spokesperson reports that she took the clothing. Meghan's spokesperson reports that she took the clothing without permission are categorically false and highly defamatory. Till now, she has ignored everything. I'm so proud of her, but I don't want her to ignore this one. I want her team to sue them because she's ignoring them and letting them get away with their lies. They are counting on her to do the same thing this time as well. I want her to surprise them and sue them for all they are worth. And trust me, you guys, in an American court, it's not like suing somebody in the UK. In the American court, you definitely are paid out for their folly, right? Let them be foolish and they will have to pay out for their folly. Katerina says it's actually insane that there needs to be a statement made for this. A spokesperson for the Duchess of Sussex, okay, she's repeating the same thing, the insinuation and the items, blah, blah, blah. So Katerina goes on to say, it's clear Meghan owns the pieces from her photo shoots. According to a source familiar with industry practices, it is standard for the talent to retain select items from photo shoots, sometimes for security reasons and to prevent potential resale and unauthorized auction. Okay, same thing. So, you know what? I put that in the wrong place, the thing about William there, but we'll get back to that. We will get back to that. All right, so let's go here. This person right here, this person, I do believe that this is where it started. I do believe, no, actually, it wasn't from her. She's just one of the people who's perpetuating this falsehood. Her name is Paula Froelich. Now, I didn't know that she appeared on Tom Sykes. As I told you, I don't bother with Tom Sykes anymore. I was hoping that he would be a little more truthful and less gossipy, but Tom Sykes, just like the rest of them, are just trying to get paid. So, as you can see, Paula Froelich is an award-winning journalist who specializes in power, money, society, and celebrity. In other words, a big gossip. She is a senior story producer and on-air talent for News Nation. Does that tell you anything? That right-wing News Nation? Right. Previously, she was culture and travel editor for Newsweek, which of course has been hijacked by the tabloid media. Editor-in-chief of Yahoo Travel and deputy editor of the New York Post, again, tabloid. The New York Post gossip column, page 6. You see there? You don't really need to hear anything else because you already know which direction this is going. She has written 2 books. Let's see, 9 Secrets of the Rich and Famous that will take you to the top, and the New York Times bestseller, Mercury in Retrograde. Follow her on Instagram. Now, what a coincidence. I had no idea that she was an ex-girlfriend of Anthony Bourdain. Remember Anthony Bourdain? Did I ever tell you the story about the time I was in New York City and just happened to, I think I was walking by the Smith and Walensky Steakhouse. And I said very respectfully, I said, "Hi, Mr. Bourdain." He just turned his head away from me with this kind of something stink look on his face. I'm like, okay, I get it. Big shot, don't want to be bothered. And of all people, I did the same thing. I said, "Hi, Mr. What was his name? Baldwin. Alec Baldwin." Alec Baldwin, and I see this time I really should have got my feelings hurt because he was on his cell phone. He didn't break the conversation. He didn't give me a dirty look or anything like that. He just winked his eye and kind of, nodded his head at me and kept walking up 8th Street. See what the difference is? Anyway, yeah, she's one of the regulars, I suppose, on Tom Sykes. Both of them are just gossip reporters trying to come up. That's it. They're just trying to come up. And other than that, I think the other thing they have in common is they're probably some very evil people. Now, this person, this is the one, as far as I know, she's the one who started all of this. She was on that, what's his name, Gold show, Tony Gold, Anthony Gold, whatever the Gold show is, that podcast. I think he's from the UK. She was on his podcast when she made this insinuation about the dress. And I don't think that this is recent. I think that this has been going around for a while about the dress, and that this is just the latest incarnation of it where she brings it up again. Anyway, journalist Vanessa, what is that? Gregoriadis, whatever it is, has accused Meghan of allegedly taking designer items, specifically a dress and jewelry, from a 2022 photo shoot without permission. Allegations stem from a March 2024 appearance by, you see that? March 2024. That's why I say this is not new. Appearance on, let me see, the Hectics podcast. She claimed she heard from sources that a lot of stuff was not returned after Markle wore it for a high-profile photo shoot, which news outlets identified as the Duchess's Variety magazine cover shoot from October 2022. Key details of the accusations include the items. Let's see, one main item identified as the $1,700 emerald green dress, one shoulder, such and such. The context. Items provided for celebrity photo shoots are generally loans and not expected to be returned unless arrangements are made to purchase them. The justification, this person reported that Meghan allegedly justified the retention by saying she did not want anyone to sell the items on eBay, a claim the journalist dismissed as highly unusual. Now she's saying it's highly unusual and against standard industry practice, even though everything I shared with you contradicts that. A pattern, this person also referenced claims from Tom Bowers. Oh, there we go. There we go. Tom Bowers' book. Tom Bowers' 2022 book, Revenge, which alleged that Meghan had previously taken a pair of Aquazzera heels from a 2006 photo shoot for a Canadian department store, Reitman's, which she later wore for her engagement announcement in 2017. Didn't Meghan have a contract with Reitman's? Didn't she develop a clothing line with them? Interesting. The allegations resurfaced recently when Meghan wore the same green dress in a November 2025 promotional video for her upcoming Netflix holiday special, With Love, Meghan. Representatives for the Duchess of Sussex has since blasted these claims as unfounded. Now, all of that I just shared with you was written by AI. That is from AI. That's not a person. Full disclosure. So, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Let me go back here. So, yes, this is the person that I suspect started this whole thing, and that was back in 2024. So, this is not new. This person has been going on doing this little song and dance for a while. And just like the other person, I do believe this is one of those feminist gatekeepers where they pretend like they're for all women, women empowerment and such. But when it comes to work, there is no story that is beneath them. They figure everything is fair game. And that's because they're not interesting enough for anybody to ever come after them. So they go after everybody, including the Duchess of Sussex. Now, I am willing to go out on a limb and say, in so many cases, when you see these types of stories, it's usually a particular type of woman who just happens to be white, usually older, and really are right-wing gatekeepers. They are MAGA, Brexit gatekeepers. I don't know this woman's politics, and I hope I never have to see or hear from her again. But apparently, she has it in for Meghan. It would appear that she has it in for Meghan, as does the other one that I shared with you before this. They seem to have it in for Meghan. And as such, any little thread that they can pull upon, even though I would say that this one is rather serious, and I wouldn't be surprised if this did find its way to a court of law, because this is very serious. And more than just a little idle gossip, you really should have more evidence than I heard from an insider. Very serious. You are accusing another person of theft. And it's not likely that Meghan would suffer the consequences of such words from a white woman about a woman of color if Meghan was poor or if Meghan was working class. If Meghan just worked in a factory or a warehouse, chances are this would be a police matter. People like this, their words are weapons, especially against a Black woman. Their words are weapons. And at no point did this person weigh the history of Black people in the United States when she went around spreading this rumor. And it's the same as Meghan made Kate cry. Yes, you can, because of freedom of speech, you can say a lot of things, but not everything you should say. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the industry that she could have sought out to spread vicious rumors about. But for some reason, when it has to do with a woman of African descent, it comes so easy. It's like a lazy yawn. It just happens. It just rolls out of the mouth. Such and such and such. Did you know that? And trust me when I say this, she is very pleased with herself, as is she, as is he. They're very pleased with themselves. Because whether it's conscious or subconscious, there's always a need by certain people to make sure they put Black people back in their place. It was the same thing with the Obamas in the White House. The exact same thing. Every day, it seemed to be another story out there in social media, picked up by the right wing, gossip columnists, about how Michelle's mother was somehow trying to get over on the American people. Michelle Obama was trying to get over on the American people. They are owed nothing from this country. And this country only gives to them, and they take. That's the implication. That they have earned nothing, and all they do is take. And when they don't take, they're just stealing. They really ought to be ashamed of themselves, but they're not. They're very gleeful about what they've done. And so this will be echoed all week long. Now it may actually slow down a lot sooner. It may settle down sooner because of the statement made by the Sussex's representative. Quite often, I hear people say, don't give that any oxygen. Don't say anything about that. Well, I didn't say anything. Did it go away? No, it continued. And whether it's a big thing or a little thing, all of this is reputational damage. This is damage to the Sussex's brand. And whether or not everyone believes it, the idea is not just to convince people, but to create so much heat that nobody wants to work with you. No one wants to deal with you because of that thing, whatever that thing is. Sometimes you can't even identify that thing, but it's omnipresent and it's a pain in the neck. This person has a husband. I suspect they have children. And they will eat very well because of what she started spreading about Meghan's character. This character assassination will set the table. It'll take them out to the movies. They can pick up a concert, maybe even redo their kitchen. Collectively, she's going to do okay for herself. And in all likelihood, nothing's going to come of this, and she will be emboldened to do it again. Just like that Marine character, she will be emboldened to do it again because apparently it gets attention. And it's the easiest way to win the 24-hour news cycle. Just say something outrageous about the Sussexes. And you can take that vacation to Hawaii this year or next. Okay, I'm going to look at some of your comments. Yeah, I get frustrated too. I do. I get frustrated. I don't expect them to respond to everything, but you can't just keep sitting back and allowing them to drag you through the dirt. As they say in politics, never let your opponent define your character. Well, she said that she heard from somebody who knows somebody who went to school with somebody, that kind of a thing. That's how she knows it. And it bothers her so much. It bothers her so much that Meghan may have gotten something that did not belong to her, right? It just bothers her so much that she needed to talk about it to anybody who would listen, I would imagine, because somehow this has an effect on her life. This is going to lead to the decline of Western civilization, that a celebrity type of person has been gifted, by all accounts, has been gifted items after a photo shoot. But she doesn't believe that. She wants us to believe that Meghan is responsible for taking things that did not belong to her. That these people were looking for these items and they weren't there. Isn't that interesting? Okay, let me see. I hope so too. Oh, really? I hope that didn't lead to something horrible. I hope that didn't lead to something horrible. If you picking up what I'm putting down. Oh, let's see. Just celebrated my birthday eating chicken and waffles for the first time. Really? All right. Well, happy birthday and thank you so much for being a member for 31 months. Oh, let's see. Sonia Alexander wanted us to wish happy 106th birthday to Edna. Can we dance out for her? Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for the super chat. Let's see. We know all these theft stories are fake. It would have been front page news. Well, it is now. It is now. I mean, page 6, the Sun, They're making it front page. Meghan the kleptomaniac. Okay. I guess because they got so many. Um, that is a good question, but I guess until with any of these things, if the tabloids do not deem these things newsworthy, then chances are they will not make it into the mainstream media. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. As I said, this started last year sometime. So maybe there will be something said about it, maybe not. I don't know how this started other than this person right here. That's as much as I know about it. Okay. All right, just taking a look at some of your comments about this and then we'll move on. Oh, really? You sew, huh? Oh, that's handy. Yeah, it looks like a very simple, almost like a slip dress, doesn't it? Hey, Vaughn. Let's see. Cut the family adrift. Yeah, the effort to rewrite history, to reimagine everything that has happened, they have been working on that a lot, a lot. Even with the Crown, the miniseries, streaming series, The Crown, a lot of that because of Peter Morgan's relationship with the royal family. I suspect that it was a lot of what is that they call it, revisionist history. They have changed things. A lot of the plots have changed, like grieving Prince Charles, grieving the loss of the woman whose life he worked so hard to destroy. Charles worked with the tabloids and with Mark Bolan to destroy Diana. And so it should be of no surprise that things ended the way it did. I mean, those things can and will go wrong. So he worked very hard to destroy her. Just so happens she lost her life too. But imagine that. Imagine Charles using the weight of the monarchy, the weight of the British government, the weight of his own celebrity, such as it is, using all of those things. And when that fell short, he just started reaching in his pocket and giving money to Mark Bolan. Here, destroy her. Make sure that she has no place to go and no one to speak to. Drive her into oblivion. That was the goal, which is exactly what they're trying to do with the Sussexes. Now, there are people who've said, their ultimate goal for Harry and Meghan is almost too frightening to even verbalize. But until we know better, I'm going to take them at other people's words until we know better. Okay. All right. So Sonia Alexander wanted us to wish happy 106. What a blessing that is to Edna. All right, Edna, if you're listening. Well, she's 106. Okay, Edna. If you're listening, I'm just trying to be helpful, y'all. I'm not trying to be rude. Okay, Edna, if you're listening, we're going to do. Listen, y'all, I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm just in case. Just in case. We're going to do a salsa. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Here we go. Oh, a 1, a 2, a 3. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize the microphone was off. I just told a funny story. Anyway, I'm not going to tell it again. But remember, it was funny. Anyway, maybe I'll tell you later. All right, so we're over here. Oh, am I out of order with this? I think I am. Let me play this for you. Let me play this for you. because apparently something has changed at the X, formerly known as Twitter. So I am going to play Notorious for you because he had a thing to say about it. Okay. All right. Let me cue this up for you, and we'll talk on the other side. We shall talk on the other side. How's that?
Oh, it finally happened. The Meghan derangers logged in today, ready to do their 12-hour shift of hating, and instead got blindsided by the messiest plot twist in 2025. X dropped that about this account feature, and the way the timelines fell immediately into silence. I haven't seen the derangers this quiet since Meghan dropped a recipe, because now when you click on their profiles, the truth is right there. No mystery, no pretending, no fake concerned American mom persona. Suddenly, all these accounts that swore they were tweeting from Ohio or the UK or Australia or even Canada are magically popping up from Pakistan, India, and Russia. Like, girl, you said you lived in the UK. Then why is your account showing from Karachi? The funniest part is the speed in which they're panicking. Accounts going private, bios disappearing, tweets getting mass deleted, roaches scrambling like somebody just turned on the lights. The wig isn't just off, it flew across the timeline and hit somebody else's notifications. And the excuses are absolutely sending me. It's my VPN. That app is glitching. That's not my real location. Bestie, you've been role playing as a retired British aristocrat for 3 years, and now the app is telling us you're tweeting from New Delhi. What are we to do with that information besides laugh? Not the derangers who were calling Meghan a danger to the Western world, being unmasked as dudes in Moscow, using stock photos of Labradors as profile pics, not the ones pretending to be California moms, turning out to be posting from Lahore at 3 a.m. their time. The geography isn't geographing, and quite frankly, it's embarrassing. This is the best part. They can't hide it. They can't spin it. They can't lie about it. The app exposed them like a cheating boyfriend on FaceTime. I am crying. I am wheezing. I am sipping my as ever tea as I click on every profile, like it's a season finale. The chaos is delicious. The silence is loud, and the derangers are done. Oh, it finally happened. The Meghan derangers logged in today.
Okay. Thank you very much, Notorious. So, in case you're not sure exactly what he is speaking of, you see that? Princess Catherine of Wales, right? Nigeria, Android app? Or how about Royal Family Insider? United States app. Okay. Oh no, account based in Nigeria. There you go. That account, see the second one from the left up there at the top? That's from Nigeria. Or how about this one? Uh Also Nigeria, Princess Catherine of Wales. HRH Princess of Wales, Nigeria. Huh. Well, I knew they had royalty in Nigeria, but I had no idea how regal that nation was. Uh, so Sussex Soldier says, I'm not surprised. Pro Kate Middleton bots? Yeah, yeah, and lots of them. Hmm. To help her create the illusion that she has a lot of fans and supporters on X and other social media platforms. And of course, take a look at that one, the Wales family backup. That is from Pakistan. Holy Baba Ganoush. That is from Pakistan. Well, as you can see, um, That really bakes my chicken biryani. Huh. Ain't that something? 2 username changes. I wonder what mine says. Oh, let me take a look at mine. I'd like to see what mine says. Uh, I wonder if only other people. Well, let me see. It says when I joined. Oh, I don't know. I don't really care. Uh-huh. All right. So, what site is this? That is for the X, formerly known as Twitter. That is for X, formerly known as Twitter. Elon Musk has changed something about it, so now you can see where these these people come from. That they're not actually like a suburban housewife and in the U.S. or Canada. That these people are actually from Pakistan and Nigeria and so on. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Notorious. I think that is the best way to say it. Well, well. I love her. Let me see if I can find her. Um, well, no comment. Is that what she says? Anyway, I probably won't be able to find her. Well. It's been a while since we've seen her, though, right? With that viral reaction of hers. Okay, I think I give. I don't know where she is. Is that what she says? No comment? Okay, never mind. I give up. Okay, moving on. Moving on. The Sussex Soldier says their popularity is declining, so they buy bots to create the illusion that they are still popular, still wanted, and the monarchy is still needed. The illusion they create online can defeat the reality, can't defeat, that is, the reality we saw or see. Like if you take a look there on the right, Sussex Soldier posted that in 2024 there was a bigger crowd, and by 2025, during the same period, a sunny day with a flyover, ideal weather. Look at how thin the crowd is, and you cannot dispute the crowd is thinner because, after all, this is the portion of the program to the date, to the hour where the flyover takes place, and the planes are flying over a very thin crowd. That is photographic evidence of how much smaller this event has become. Wow. Wow. And of course, what is popularity? The state or condition of being liked, admired, or supported by many people. Here's an example. He was forced to step down as mayor despite his popularity with the voters. See what I'm saying? Now, I went into my archives and I found this from the post Oprah Winfrey interview with Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. It says here, for Americans who watched the Oprah interview, Oprah boosted popularity of Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex. U.S. adults were asked if they had a favorable or unfavorable view of members of the British royal family before and after Winfrey's interview with Prince Harry and, of course, Duchess Meghan. So green is favorable, yellow, heard of, no opinion. They know about them, no opinion. Or at least they heard of them. Never heard of them. And then, of course, white, or is that gray? Never heard of them. And red is unfavorable. So the Queen has an unfavorable rating of 10. And by the end of the interview, that increased to 16. Oprah Winfrey had a unfavorability of 25. And 25% of the people found her unfavorable, 18% after the interview. But look at the favorability. For the Queen, it actually went up. And for Oprah, it went from 52 to 71. And then take a look at Kate Middleton. Her favorability rating increased to 57%, MAGA voters, I'm sure. But her unfavorable went from 8%, because people mostly do not know about her, up to 19%. Harry's favorability went from 46 to 69. His unfavorability went from 10 to 14. Again, MAGA. And of course, Meghan, 45% was her favorability. Now, of course, the heard of and no opinion, that's 29%. Harry's was 34. Kate's 33. And the Queen, I don't know how you could have never, heard of and have no opinion. Well, I guess it's easy because the Queen never said nothing. But Meghan's heard of and have no opinion went from 29 to 12. Her favorability went up to 67%. And her unfavorability, look at how small that number is. Now, I'm sure by today's numbers, I'm sure it's a disaster because of the hate campaign, but that wasn't bad. Not bad at all. And then William, let me see. His unfavorable increased and his favorability increased. So not by dramatic numbers, but there you go. Charles, you can see his right there. Philip, Camilla. Wow, Camilla's went up to 35% unfavorable. So Charles and Camilla, they didn't do so well. They did not do so well. Look at that. People liked them less after the interview than before. Huh. Okay. Now, if you go over to the right, God Save the Queen, Queen Elizabeth II is the most popular royal. Again, this is from that same period. Prince Harry, who used to be ahead of the Queen, down to 46% favorable. Kate somehow is hanging in there at 49%. Meghan, 45%. Not just what, 1 point behind Harry. Her unfavorable, of course, was 14. Now, this is a share of U.S. adults who said they have a favorable and unfavorable view of members of the royal family. So, wow, where did William go? Oh, okay, I see William. Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what, the two women that don't have a voice happens to be at the top. I mean, the Queen was a public speaker, but you didn't really know anything about her opinions, they say. And Kate, the Stepford wife, even more so. Okay. Anyway, this is post Oprah Winfrey interview. Maybe you've never seen this before, but this is the post Oprah interview. I believe this was like, I forgot how many days after the interview. So, uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Am I going the wrong direction? Yes, I am. Hold on a second. Let me orientate myself here. Okay, so key takeaways. Meghan's favorability rating among Americans who watched the March 7th interview with Oprah was 67%, 22 percentage points higher than the pre-interview poll taken among all adults. Among U.S. adults, which include those who did not see the CBS interview, Queen Elizabeth's 49% remained the most popular royal, while Kate Middleton topped the list for the British respondents. Split then whether the coverage of Harry and Meghan is fair or unfair, but British respondents were more likely to say the couple received mostly negative media attention. Now that, again, British and U.S. adults were split on whether the media coverage of Harry and Meghan is fair or unfair, but British respondents said it was mostly unfair. Again, this is post Oprah Winfrey interview. Days after, more than 17 million viewers tuned in to watch Prince Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey. 2-hour chat. The allegations raised during it is still making waves. Okay, people who watched the Oprah interview were more likely to view Prince Harry and Meghan favorably. I like that. Okay. Yeah. So this poll was released on March the 12th, 2021. Now remember, this was a year after they left, and Harry and Meghan said nothing at all. There were no public statements for them, from them, that is, for an entire year of mostly negative coverage, mostly from the British tabloid media. And when people say that Harry probably shouldn't have said anything, or, I am glad that they attempted to set the record straight. They made the attempt. It was not as successful as one would hope, but it was better than saying nothing. It was better than just taking it. And after all, after the Spare came out, and after the Endgame, the Royals' popularity dwindled. For the first time, they were underwater. They were under 50% popularity as a family. Under 50% popularity as a family, as an institution. Now, the argument that the royals bring tourism, right? I hope you guys don't mind. Some of you all have seen this information before, but for the benefit of those who are not familiar with it, every so often I'd like to share these statistics. Um, Top 10 countries most popular with tourists by numbers of 2019 visitors. Now, um, after the pandemic, during the pandemic, tourism declined. So we didn't really have anything but those 2019 numbers to look at. Um, and of course, the United States is no longer in the third place for obvious reasons. But let's see. At the time, France with 90 million annual visits, Spain 83.7 annual visits. The United States, again, this is no longer the case, 79.3 million annual visits. China 65.7, Italy 64.5, Turkey 51.2. That's a lot of hair plugs, isn't it? Mexico 45 million, Thailand 39.8, Germany 39.6, and United Kingdom dead last. Out of the top 10 was dead last with 39.4 million. So much for the royal family being a huge draw. And if this is the best you can do with the royal family, trust me, it wouldn't be much different without them. It really wouldn't make much of a difference. The country that's at the top of the list does not have a royal family. The next country only spends about $8 million a year for their royal family. And then so on and so on. It does not make a difference. So, most searched members of the royal family, as always, Meghan, and then Harry. Now, I think Harry's numbers have increased since this one. This is a few years old, but Harry's numbers have increased. But always Meghan, most searched. And let's see, Charles III, he had just become king. I'm going to say that Charles and William ought to swap places because the novelty of Charles becoming king has declined. So I'm pretty sure he's no longer above William. And then there on the right, you can see when it comes to the search, when you're searching out people, again, you can look at that graph right there. And Meghan is the green. Prince Harry follows in yellow. And then after that, them other ones. And look at the map. Look at the map. From China to Russia. Okay, not China. China doesn't give the statistic. Okay, so let's just say from Russia to Australia, India, most of South America, all of North America. Who are they searching for? Who are they searching for? Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. That's power right there. That is power. That is influence. So when you hear people try and sell you that line that Meghan's not very influential, you can see the proof is right there in front of you. The proof is right there in front of you. That's her power. And these two, well, let me see here. Prince and Princess of Wales' popularity has plunged after the publication of Prince Harry's memoir, Spare. Yeah, after Spare, it plunged once the truth got out. I guess what I'm trying to say is the tabloids are obviously in the pocket of the royal family. if there were ever a day where they weren't just, if they were just fair, right? I don't want them to just say everything good about the Sussexes. I just want them to tell the truth. If they would just tell the truth, these inflated artificial stats for those two would sink like a stone. But the truth is not on the Sussexes' side. It works against them because, as Meghan said, they will lie to help the rest of the royal family, but they won't tell the truth to help them. They refuse to tell the truth to help them. And not just the institution, of course, but the tabloid media. And most times they do not even pretend to be impartial. They do not pretend to be fair. They're very in your face with it. Now, how British media created a fictitious PDA moment for William and Kate. See what I'm saying? It is all contrived. It's made up. You will not find the truth there. You will find a strategy. And the strategy is to uplift two very mediocre and, dare I say, troubled people. So a single freeze frame that's all it took to unravel the Daily Mail's breathless tale of Prince William kissing Kate Middleton's hand in a chauffeured car. The media called it tender, romantic, a royal moment caught in time. But the video, slowed and examined, told another story. He wasn't kissing her hand. He was sipping from his own. No gesture exchanged. No contact made. Yet the story raced ahead with the footage, bolstered by outlets eager to paint the Welleses in an affectionate light. This was narrative control. And once again, it kicked into gear at precise moment Meghan stepped into her own spotlight. The kiss that never happened. The moment in question took place outside the Royal Albert Hall on November the 20th, 2025. William and Kate arrived for the Royal Variety performance, and cameras captured a quick moment inside the car. What tabloids described as a hand kiss was nothing more than the Prince of Wales lifting an object to his lips. No hand was extended. No contact was made. The video paused at a critical frame, show only his hand. That did not stop people, Cosmopolitan and Daily Mail, from pushing a romantic headline. Slowed footage from ex-user. Oh, that was what's her name? At least I guess it's a girl. Anyway, when you SK, I think. When you slow the footage, it debunks the viral PDA myth, highlighting how British media manufactured affection, that is, to prop up the Waleses amid ongoing scrutiny. In other words, they made it up. They totally made it up. Okay. So the coverage read like scripted affection. A brief moment became a gesture of devotion. A neutral glance became love-struck admiration. Even Kate's repositioning of her purse, freeing her hand for possible contact, was spurned into a signal of mutual warmth, but there was no response from William. He walked ahead, unmoved. The press, however, remained committed to the fantasy. Narrative inflation around the Welleses. When the press turns its attention to William and Kate, after fleeting interactions are framed as moments of emotional depth, a hand placed on the back becomes a signal of quiet devotion. A look exchanged between them is treated as evidence of enduring unity. You know, they don't do this for anybody else. There is no royal in all of Europe where they have a press that will turn a glance into a recommitment ceremony. These interpretations serves as a purpose, that is to fill the space left by the couple's cold and restrained public dynamic. In other words, seeing that there are very few examples of affection, even in the past, they have to make up stuff because it's non existent. They will take a frame. They don't usually have a video, they just have a frame. The only videos they have is when Kate drops her hand down on his behind, which I'm sure is totally scripted. That is a totally scripted move. Their manners often lack physical ease seen in others. Last month, the footage showed Kate attempting several times to initiate contact with her husband, but she placed her hand on his arm and brushed his back. But William stepped slightly away each time. The scene drew attention online, yet the tabloids remained silent. The contrast speaks of the persistent pattern. When Harry held Meghan's hand or gently touched her back, coverage focused on intent. Headlines questioned whether the affection was staged. No such scrutiny follows the Welleses, where their little interactions and press often assumptions of intimacy is constructed, not observed. Anyway, when Meghan moves, they panic. When Meghan moves, they panic. The real story is timing. On the same day as the fabricated hand kiss surfaced, Meghan released the Netflix trailer for her holiday special. Hours later, Harper's Bazaar revealed the new cover featuring a candid makeup-free portrait. Both moments drew attention on their own merit, but instead of letting Meghan occupy space unchallenged, tabloids shifted the focus. Diamond bracelets were dropped. Queen Mary's choker returned to circulation, and the fictional kiss led to the headlines. Yeah, you know what? And I remember that I was waiting for them to put the big headline up, and it did not go up until maybe, it was very early hours Central Time the next day before they finally changed the headline, ditching the whole thing with Will and Kate and doing what they really wanted to do in the first place, and that is sell some papers and get some clicks by featuring Meghan. But they deliberately withheld it until they just couldn't anymore. It didn't stop there. Within 24 hours, the Daily Mail published a column a column by Maureen Callahan accusing Meghan of delusion, arrogance, and insecurity. Callahan mocked the Harper's Bazaar interview, dismissed her public embrace of tradition, and derided her relationship with Prince Harry as performative. Ain't that something? In doing so, she reminded readers that Meghan's presence still unsettles the media. Her anatomy invites derision. Her affection, even with her own husband, provokes backlash. For those still unsure, the pattern is difficult to ignore. Prince William and Kate regularly receive unfavorable headlines, often shaped by narratives. I'm sorry, not unfavorable. What am I saying? Favorable headlines, often shaped by narratives that benefit their public image. At times, those narratives are not observed, but created, with the press amplifying or inventing positive moments that may not have taken place. So, as a final thought, Feminagra says the fabricated kiss, the exaggerated affection, and the orchestrated criticism reflects a media machine unwilling to let the Sussexes stand on their own. Instead, it actively distorts public perception to protect and elevate the royals it prefers, those who best fit the traditional mold. When Meghan moves, coverage of the Waleses intensifies. The press stages intimacy for the couple and weaponizes it against the other. No misstep from the Waleses receives tabloid ire. No gesture from the Sussexes escaped tabloid suspicion. That imbalance has consequences. It distorts public understanding. And more than 5 years after their exit, it shows no signs of slowing down. Well, thank you, Feminagra. So take a look there. There's William the Magnificent. What they will not ever talk about is William's rather bizarre appearance. William always seems a bit, shall we say, over animated, a little less than enthusiastic, the classic signs of someone who, well, for lack of a better word, is maybe inebriated. Now, of course, I am just alleging that there has been drink, okay? I'm just going to allege there has been drink. But he appears as someone who's been a bit overserved, someone who has gotten through the day with microdoses of something, of something. And there he is right there in Paris. I wonder if that's what led to the lawsuit, because he's standing there with a bottle in his hand and he could not be more pleased. Now, Prince Philip was reluctant to be charmed by Meghan Markle and gave Prince Harry a cutting warning before their wedding. Oh, did he? Did he really? Wow, for someone who was known as the penniless Duke, he sure has a lot of judgment, right? For someone who went careening through an intersection and nearly killed a woman, he sure likes to judge people, doesn't he? And why was he driving so fast? Where was he going? He was going over to Wood Farm, where he lived away from Queen Elizabeth II. You know, the one who brought him in all those years ago. Queen Elizabeth was the one with the money. He didn't have money, and he didn't even have a country. His adopted country was the United Kingdom, but he was Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark. His family had been deposed and kicked out of the country. Somehow he wound up in the UK under the wing of Louis Mountbatten, among other things. Under the wing of Louis Mountbatten, he managed to scratch out a living for himself. All he had to do was charm young Princess Elizabeth. Now, if there's any drawbacks to Meghan's career as an actor, take a look at that. What would the royals earn in the real world? Well, Meghan would be the top earner at £350,000 a year. Sophie, Countess of Wessex, would be lucky to make 40K. Prince Edward, production assistant, £28,000 a year. Kate Middleton, in all likelihood, with her art history degree, Kate Middleton, who can barely hold a conversation, would only make a whopping 23,000K a year. That's it. She would make about 23K in the real world. If her mother hadn't dressed her up and pushed her into William's arms, that's where she would be right now. Party pieces would have been a thing of the past, and Kate would have probably been lucky to have a job at 23K a year. Prince Harry and William, charity workers, about 21K, although I think Harry would have been a very high-ranking military officer. You see, they're trying to take away from Harry's career in the military, but that's okay. Let him have it. Princess Anne, 19K a year. And Camilla, she would have made about 17,500 a year as a barmaid. Yes, probably working as a barmaid. I'm pretty sure she would work in some pub somewhere, slinging ale all day. All she didn't drink herself. I tell you what, in all likelihood, Camilla would have never been a lingerie model. I couldn't see that one. Only if the lingerie included a paper bag. Then and only then she might make some money. So Prince Harry and Meghan announced they have named their baby boy Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor. And there's Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth smiling. Now, unless they know something we don't, it seems like Prince Philip was pretty pleased to see his great-grandson. I don't know what it says or what it doesn't say, but I don't know. Recollections may vary. Oh, is that Prince Philip making a mockery of his marriage? Is that Queen Elizabeth doing the mature thing and inviting the side piece to come to church with them so people won't talk? Yes. Yes, she had to. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. Penny Natch Bull and I don't care. That is Penny Natch Bull. Penny Natch Bull, who had become friends with Philip. They were friends, just friends. Nothing to see here, folks. They're just friends. With friends like that, who needs divorce court, right? I believe she is the reason why Philip's will has remained sealed. They said that his will was sealed so that there would be no embarrassment to the queen. Did you guys know that? They sealed his will so to avoid embarrassing Queen Elizabeth II. Well, what, pray tell, could have possibly have been embarrassing in that will? Penny Natch Bull. That's what. That's the embarrassment. Penny Natchbull. Look at the Queen's face and look at Philip. Oh my goodness, talk about a face like thunder. Philip just looks guilty, doesn't he? If you ask me, they're all actors. Yeah, they're all given an award-winning performance. Penny Natchbull walking behind Queen Elizabeth, the Queen, looking pissed. And Philip, that corpse-like Romeo. And then, of course, there is that picture, this one, where Penny Natchbull is trying to learn how to drive a stick shift. Yes, Philip is instructing her on how to drive a stick shift, obviously. I mean, what else could they be discussing at this point? Huh? What else are they discussing? Is this or is this not real wood grain? What type of wood trim do you think this is? Do you think it's cedar, pine, oak? I don't know what they're discussing, but whatever it is, I'm sure it led to that will being sealed for the next 99 years. I mean, this image, it is not AI. This image was in the tabloids. This image made it to the tabloids. I wonder what the Queen thought while she was eating her grits and bacon or whatever she eats. I wonder what she was thinking when this came across the breakfast table. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Philip, you're going to blow your top. Or something. Oh, well, we're all adults. People have needs. You know what? I'm thinking right now when Philip went careening through that intersection, maybe he had to hurry up and get there because maybe something had changed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he felt more inspired than he had felt in years, and he wanted to hurry up and get over there to Penny Natchbull. Right? Penny, Penny, where are you? Yeah. Maybe his prescription had just come or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he had got a new prescription. But whatever it was, he had to get over there to Penny Natchbull stat. And for that reason, that poor woman had her arm broken. And there was Philip upside down in his Range Rover or whatever car he was driving. He was upside down. They literally had to drag him out of the car. The car had flipped over. Okay? The car had flipped over because Philip had to get there in a hurry. Must be a new prescription. Let me see. Do I have a picture of it? Yeah, I do. Take a look at that. Yeah, it was a Range Rover. The lady said he didn't even try to stop. He didn't even try to stop. He just went right through the intersection, nearly killed her. And she did not get an apology. There was no apology, no acknowledgement or anything. She went on This Morning and talked about it. She looked so pitiful sitting up there with her arm broken. Look at her. Didn't know what hit her. Nothing in this world could probably convince her that that was Prince Philip that nearly killed her. He done lived his whole life and almost killed this woman. Ain't that something? trying to get over there to Penny Natchbull. What exactly does Penny Natchbull have that oh hell, never mind. I guess we all know. I wonder if Natchbull is like old English that means something else. You think so? And of course, the papers, they could not wait to talk about it. They were like, who's going to tell him? Who's going to tell him? What they were worried about is that somebody had to tell him that it was time to give up his driver's license. And they said only the Queen could have that conversation with him. They had dubbed him the Duke of Hazzard. Yep, the Duke of Hazzard. Look at him. Peace out, Philip. Peace out. There he is in the General Lee trying to get over there to Penny Natchbull with his new prescription. I don't blame him, though. Might be the last time he ever teach her how to drive a stick shift. So I don't blame him. All of that, and next thing you know, she's sitting up there with a broken arm. She looks so pitiful, don't she? Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. That's right, just a good old boy. That's the Duke of Hazzard theme song. Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Bam, look at that. They had to drag him out of the car. And to think they are trying to say that the Sussexes worried him to death. This man survived a rollover accident. He survived a rollover accident trying to get to Penny Natchbull. He wasn't thinking about Harry and Meghan. He had stuff to preoccupy him. He had something to do with his time other than that other stuff. Remember, he retired from official royal duty at age 95. At 95, he said, okay, if I can't drive over to Penny Natchbull, I quit. So he quit. Penny Natchbull, and I don't care. Look at there, the walking Romeo corpse. Yes, a corpse like Romeo. There he is. Penny, 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 I got a new prescription, Penny. Where the devil are you? I have a new prescription, Penny Natchbull. Let me show you what's in these, what is it, purple pill, blue pills? Let me show you what's in these pills. Let me show you what these pills can do. And there he was, neither dead nor alive, but ready for action. Because Penny Natchbull, and he don't care. I guess they call it the never mind. I'm not going to say that. But anyway, I got to give it to Philip, though. At that age, still handling his business, you really can't come for him. That man was still handling his business at age 99. He didn't slow down till he got to 99. No wind, no rain, or backwood road can stop me, Penny. Ooh, Penny, if you're my goal. Yes, meet me at Wood Farm, where the woods are woody. I did not know about this, but one of the squatties posted this, and I was just like, really? Lady Colin Campbell dropped from Christmas lights switch on over Prince Andrew comment. Well, back in 2019, she was supposed to have the honor. I mean, after all, that is Lady Colin Campbell, according to her. She was supposed to have the honor of lighting the Christmas lights, but they told her, uh, nope, no can do. And that was because of this. I had to change some of the words so we wouldn't get in trouble, but her comments about Prince Andrew were alarming. She was trying to defend him. She says, "You all seem to have forgotten that that person, the offense with, let me see, which he was charged for, which he was imprisoned, was for," I changed the words, "pursuing service," right? "From mirrors." You understand what mirrors are, right? He was trying to pursue services from mirrors, right? That is not the same as Philadelphia. You got my meaning? It's not the same as Philadelphia. So if you want service from mirrors, that's not the same as Philadelphia. Yeah, that's what she said, sort of. And when people heard that, they were just like, oh no, we can't have this person light up the Christmas tree. Uh-uh. Because she seems to think that um, buying mirrors, right? Um, Reaching for mirrors is not the same as Philadelphia. Hmm. And she's not the only one. Um, it seems like Megan Kelly, Megan Kelly tried to do the same thing a couple of weeks ago, saying that that mirrors of a certain size or mirrors of a certain age, yeah, those mirrors, that the new mirrors are a problem, but the older mirrors, well, if you've had those mirrors for maybe, I don't know, 16 years, then those mirrors are okay to look at your reflection, right? But if the mirrors have only been around for a few years, then that's the problem, right? Then that's Philadelphia. Uh-huh. So that is why that monster was taken off the service, because they didn't want anybody like that lighting the Christmas lights. Yeah. Uh T Mac, I was I just, it's one of those things where you say, we can hear you, right? You do know you're on television and that we can hear you. And yet they keep talking and even try to argue. Now, as for someone as, I won't call her sophisticated, but clever, for someone as clever as, you know, old Georgie Collins here, George Zadie, for someone as clever as George Zadie, you would think that he, she, we, them, they, them would know better. But no, they just, yeah, what was in it for her? What was in it for her to try and defend Andrew? I never understood that. And it's the same thing with Meghan Kelly, a known Sussex hater. What was in it for you to try to explain away the types of mirrors that some people want to enjoy in their homes? Why is that important to you? Especially when you're not talking about a case of puppy love or something like that. Clearly, you're not, because of the vast differences. And yet, you're trying to argue, you're trying to rationalize something that, yeah, I don't, they're both, okay. Neither one of them, I would say, are dumb, right? Neither one of them, I would say, are completely ignorant, but it's hard to understand how they got to that point. And why would you? It's not like it's a member of your family. And even then, you should have nothing to say. But they went out of their way to try and defend the indefensible. I will never understand that. You think so? I mean, yeah, I guess, but I'm just trying to figure out under what circumstances. I don't know. I guess, like you said, that's probably all to it. But we all know that Megyn Kelly got that big settlement when she left NBC. So I would imagine she should not be in want of money. Now, George Zadie, I could see George needing that money, but not Megyn Kelly. She's supposed to be loaded. They paid out her contract, and it was huge. Don't tell me all the money is gone unless they got some dirt on her and she didn't have a choice but to do what they wanted her to do. That I can understand, although I still think it was a stupid thing to do. Oh well. Um yeah, I don't get it. But Lady C is dishonest even under the best of circumstances. A dishonest person. Lady Colin Campbell, ex-husband, found out she had been raised a boy and had gender corrective surgery after the couple had already married, and has admitted the relations ruined their the revelations ruined their relationship. Lord Colin Campbell, who tied the knot with the then 25-year-old Georgia Zadie after a whirlwind 5-day romance, made extraordinary claims in an interview in The Sun on Sunday, his first in 40 years. In 40 years, he has not talked about this for 40 years. Describing the moment he found out she lived as a boy until she was 18. Collins said he couldn't bring himself to touch his wife. Okay. First of all, that's very respectful of him to still refer to Lady C as his wife. Second of all, I really feel bad for anyone who has had a similar upbringing, because even though I'm being shady because I cannot stand Lady C, I really do have a great deal of empathy for anyone who has been raised in such a way, because it took a long time for us to get to a point where there's a broader understanding of someone who has been born intersex, or someone who has been born with some type of deformity that made life difficult. Okay. Because sometimes you don't know about this until you get to PE class and you start wondering, why am I different? So the world is more sophisticated now. Thank God. But it's people like Lady C who gives that very my uh, minority of society, that minority group within society, gives them a bad name and a bad reputation because of the idea that there may have been some deception. I would imagine, because of primogeniture, that Lord Colin Campbell would have wanted to have children someday. And you cannot adopt your way out of this as a aristocrat. I believe it requires a certain type of birth, a conventional birth. So I'm choosing my words carefully, but Lady C has proven, and I'm going to give Georgie the respect of calling her Lady C because that's what she prefers. Lady C has proven herself to be deceptive, which I think is a shame, and really took advantage of the situation. The whirlwind 5-day romance. Well, in 5 days, there was a lot of things you needed to say. There was a conversation you needed to have, and you chose not to. But there are some people that will define their own reality in ways that other people can only dream of. I have a lot of respect for people that create a reality out of nothing. And she literally took a very difficult upbringing and created a reality to suit her own place in life, much to the dismay of her husband, who, again, I applaud him for having respect enough for her to call her his wife. I think that shows a great deal of maturity on his part. But still, because of the stigma of it, because of the shock of it, because of the lie, he found it difficult to even touch her because he was misled, which leads me to believe that he might be a hell of a nice guy who found himself caught into a web, no pun intended, but like the web of Kiss of the Spider Woman. Yeah, he found himself in the role of a lifetime, Kiss of the Spider Woman. Okay, I mostly got through that. Woo! And I feel for Georgia, because it could not have been easy, that upbringing. But that does not excuse an adult Georgie making a fool out of uh, Lord Colin Campbell. It does not excuse it. And dare I say, there are some places in this world where the game that Georgie played could have ended badly. It could have ended very badly. And I'm sure you all understand what I'm saying. It is a very, very dangerous game to play. But for the most part, I am just going to leave it at this. Georgie proved herself to be very dishonest. At a time when it mattered the most, she took the low road. And as a man, I could tell you, a man never wants to feel foolish. Nobody wants to feel foolish, but in particular, a man does not ever want to feel foolish. You do not want to be laughed at. You do not want a whispering campaign to take place behind your back. I don't remember how he found out, but I'm just going to imagine that it had to have been sickening. Okay, so Prince William and Princess Catherine Kate Middleton, the girl who once used to throw her behind out the window in college to impress the boys coming up the street. Anytime she heard a man's voice, she'd run over to the window. Anytime she heard a man's voice, she'd say, "Ooh, a boy." And she just run over to the window and throw her behind out the window. That one might actually be welcome to the White House. Why not? The standards at the White House has declined significantly anyway. Yeah, Kate is off to Washington D.C. and so is Willie. Yeah, those two are off to Washington. Red, white, and blue with the little royal blue. The Prince and Princess of Wales will reportedly be traveling across the pond to celebrate the United States' 250th birthday next year. Now, I don't know how this works because it will be a milestone, 250 years, right? But it's an American holiday. It's an American event. Now, they're going to celebrate probably for the entire year. I lived through the bicentennial, and if it's anything like the bicentennial, they are going to, it's hard to believe that was 50 years ago. They are going to celebrate all year long. One of the things I remember from 1976 is that the city of Chicago's L trains were green, and then by the bicentennial year, they were red, white, and blue. So, yeah, that tends to take up a lot. Well, it's not a centennial year, so I don't know what they do. It won't be as big, but it'll be a big deal because that's a milestone, 250 years. I just don't know how they fit into it. I really don't. Now, if somebody wants a person to promise to do everything and anything to impress their brother, then William will probably have something to do. Or if somebody needs someone to throw their butts out the window of the White House, then I guess Kate will come in handy for that. But aside from that, what else is there for them to do? I mean, we certainly don't want to see the president throwing his butt out the window. Nor the vice president, the first lady. But if that's what they need her to come over and do, I'm pretty sure she's probably missed it for, for several years. So yeah, let her come on over. Have butt will travel. Let's see here. Anyway, I don't care about that. Let me move on. Yep. Sure. Okay, so exclusive royals coming to celebrate 250th birthday of USA in July, but will Prince Harry and Meghan be shut out? Well, I guess we're gonna have to spend, oh gosh, I guess, what is that, 9 months from now? I guess we're gonna spend the next 8 or 9 months speculating whether or not the Sussexes will have some role to play. I'm just gonna make it very easy and say no. They don't have anything to do with that. Whatever celebration takes place, that will happen for them in Montecito or wherever they are at that time. They don't have any business in Washington, D.C. at that point. I am very sure that the President of the United States is not going to request their presence, nor will the royal family request their presence. So it does not matter. It's just some clickbait for the tabloids. Yep. So if the Sussexes will be shut out is the question. Is William and Jason going to come out? If the Sussexes are shut out, will those two come out? That's my question. Will they come out for the what is it, the 250th birthday? Will they come out? Out. Will they show up and show out? Leg says, why would Harry and Meghan work? This is administration. Really? Exactly. Why would they do anything for this administration? I am certain they won't be called upon. I'm certain they don't want to be a part of anything. It is just for the benefit of the press to push this narrative. But I hope that William and Jason have some special announcement. That would be interesting. That's the only thing that would make this interesting, if those two had some kind of special announcement to share with us. I'm here for it. Yeah. Red, white, and blue. They may as well share with us. Just share. That's all I'm saying. Just share with us. Let us know what they're thinking. Let us know how close they are. But these two, be interesting if William just decides to come by himself, since he doesn't really want Kate to participate. I guess if he has to take Kate, he will, but I don't know that Kate would want to bother. I don't know that Kate would want to bother. She shouldn't. Well, anyway, she shouldn't give a speech. She probably shouldn't try to speak. It would be a lot of fun if they showed up, wouldn't it? Would it be a lot of fun if Republic showed up? Oh, man. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome if Republic showed up. Let me see. Boring Kate Middleton and Prince William risk very future of monarchy with pointless stunts. Now, that was March the 1st, and they're talking about all of these ridiculous videos and stuff that they make, like that Herbal Essence shampoo commercial. And then, of course, A.N. Wilson, without their links to the church and armed forces, the royal family are just a bunch of celebrities. Sooner or later, that means the end of the monarchy. This is why people are terrified of William, because there are just certain things that William are not interested in. And those certain things are like the bedrock of the monarchy. And don't get me wrong, if he's not interested, I say don't bother, William. Do you, boo? Dull and uninspiring. That was from 2020. Dull and uninspiring. This was after the Sussexes had left. The bad thing is these kind of articles are so few and far in between, but always worth it and quite delicious when you can find them. Kate and William, who cares about these two? Nobody. And that was back in 2011. According to a group of writers we canvassed, the royal wedding show might just be a dud. A dud. They were predicting the wedding to be a dud. There's never been much confidence that these two could really deliver for the royal family. The only thing that they have going for them is to be in constant opposition with the Sussexes. That's the only thing that they have for going for them, is to do everything opposite and also very much identical to the Sussexes. Yep. Copycats. Yeah, I think being a copycat is their strongest move, is to try to do everything that the Sussexes do. Look at there. Kate and kids secretly living with mom. The Star said that a long time ago, and it seems like it's true. Kate Middleton and Prince William, dull, lacking gravitas of the Beckhams, says BBC historian. You see, there from the very beginning, people were saying that they are, what was that they called Joan Crawford when her movies didn't sell? Box office poison. They are box office poison, or the equivalent thereof. Okay, folks, I am done. 2 hours and 18 minutes. Not exactly what I was planning, but had a lot to cover today. Anyway, thank you all very much. I had a blast today. It was so much fun. Thank you to the moderators, as usual, for keeping this the safe space that it has always been. I have not checked my emails in forever. I do apologize for that. And as for the what do you call that? Anyway, I haven't checked that either. So I hope to do that this weekend. Oh, okay. It looks like I don't really have anything new. Oh my goodness. I unsubscribed and they're still sending me stuff. Oh. I tried to unsubscribe from the LinkedIn and they're still sending me stuff. I don't want all that crap. Okay, I will see you all. Love you guys. I'll catch you next time. Good night, Terry H. Wait, Jimmy Cliff. Who is Jimmy Cliff? Oh, yeah, I saw this the other day, didn't I? Yeah, I saw this the other day. Yes, R.I.P. Jimmy. Good night, everyone. Cheers. God save the content creators. Cheers. And remember, if anybody asks you, Meghan did not steal anything. Those things were agreed upon and gifted. It is standard practice in the industry. Okay? It is standard practice. Don't believe the hype. All right. Good night, y'all.